Hey guys, this is Nika, and you are listening to the Prosta English podcast. Most probably, those of you who've been listening to the podcast for a while or following me on Instagram for some time know that I love trying something new in everything: sports, hobbies, work, countries, teaching, and so on. Only my husband stays the same. In general, I love challenging myself. It makes me feel excited and alive, and it gives me fresh air, fresh ideas, and inspiration. So, I've been hosting this podcast for more than 2 years now, and I've noticed that in the last few months, I've gotten a bit bored. Please do not get me wrong. I love this project with all my heart. I really enjoy exploring different topics. I adore recording audios for you, and so on and so forth. It's just that at a certain moment, I started feeling like this project had become my comfort zone. I know how to record audios, I know how to edit them, and how to structure my speech to make it both clear and useful from a vocabulary point of view. And I felt that something was missing, something that would drive me again, wake up my enthusiasm, and make me excited about new episodes. And you know what? I found this idea and I called it interviews. I thought, what if I choose the topic of the next episode and you guys send me different questions in audio format based on this topic? This way, I'll answer the questions you are actually interested in and maybe explore some thoughts that I would never come up with on my own. Today, we are having our first episode like this. I hope you will enjoy it and that we will have some fun together. So, let's get started.
Hi, Nika. I don't know, maybe I'm late already, but I have a question for you and for your podcast. Sometimes we receive gifts that we really don't need or don't want. It happens. It's not like a bad thing, it just happens. And my question is, if you receive that kind of gift that you don't want or don't know how to use, what would you do with it? Do you regift it or maybe sell it? Or maybe you just leave it somewhere in your house for some time? Thank you in advance for your answer.
The first question is from our student, Olga. Thank you so much for your question. It's truly amazing. To be honest, it really made me think. It seems to me that fortunately, I hardly ever receive useless gifts. But I do have a funny story, of course. So, some time ago, I saw a lot of videos on Instagram of girls making healthy waffles for breakfast. For example, from spinach and cottage cheese and so on. And I really wanted to have those kinds of breakfasts too. Usually, when I get ideas like this, I do not go to the shop or order things online straight away. I write them down and share them with my husband before holidays. So I told him, I want a waffle maker. I don't remember exactly. It was Christmas or New Year, but I got my gift expecting to see a waffle maker. So I unwrap it and I see a blender. I asked him, why did you buy a blender? He looked at me and said, I think smoothies are much healthier than waffles because waffles contain a lot of sugar and simple carbs. Oh my God. At that moment, I was shocked. And I'm not the kind of woman who would make a scandal. So I said something like, oh, thank you. It's so thoughtful of you. I will try it. But Deep inside, I had no idea what to use this blender for. In the end, I tried to make smoothies a few times. I really tried, I did my best, but I realized that I'm not really a fan of drinking vegetables or fruits because I prefer chewing them. So the blender was just lying around somewhere in the kitchen cabinets and I wasn't using it until one day my mom mentioned that she was thinking about buying a blender and I said, "Oh, please, please take mine." So so now this blender is in my parents' house and my mom is actually using it. But the funniest part is, a year ago, my husband finally, that I wanted a waffle maker, not a blender. And one holiday, he gave it to me. Guess what? I used it just once, and that's it. And now it's somewhere in my kitchen cupboard again. It turns out I'm too lazy to make waffles because the process takes much more time than I expected. But nevertheless, I'm not planning to give it to anyone. I'm just waiting for inspiration one day.
Hi, Nika. I would like to ask you about the gifts related to your childhood. Did you dream of something as a child that you never got, even if it's something small? For example, my mother dreamed of a railway, and I remember that I wanted a carriage for a princess.
This question also comes from our student Alex. Thanks a million for it. It's really, really cool. So, I have one story to share. When I was a child, I used to dream of having my own horse. Honestly, I have no idea where this thought even came from. Maybe I just loved horses because obviously, they look gorgeous, strong, and so on. And my grandparents had a big house with a large private territory. Somehow, I believed that this house was the perfect place for a horse. I would take care of it, clean it, feed it, and of course, ride it. All of my family members, all of them, knew about my crazy idea because I was talking about it nonstop. And I guess on my fifth or sixth birthday, when I was expecting to get a horse as a gift, I got a book about horses instead. And you cannot imagine how mad and angry I was. And since then, I didn't want to hear anything about horses. It's like I got angry with horses, not with my aunt giving me that book. And a few years ago, I told my husband that I wanted to get a voucher for horse riding, at least for a few sessions. But it turned out that in Gdansk, none of the horse riding schools sell certificates. You just need to call them when you want to come, book a spot, and that's it. So on my birthday, my husband bought me a small toy horse and said, "When you decide, we will go together and you will have your horse riding lesson." Okay, so 4 years. 4 years passed since then, and I still haven't done it. You may ask me why. Because now, apparently, I'm afraid of horses. I think that they are so strong and unpredictable. And what if a horse doesn't like me and decides to throw me off and I fall down and break something? No way. So, the moral of the story is simple. If you have a dream, go for it now. Because one day you might grow up and become too scared to make it come true.
Hello, Nika. What do you think is better, to receive a material gift or to get an experience as a gift, such as a trip or an event?
For me, experiences, no doubt. I hope that one day on my birthday, my husband wakes me up and says, I've already packed your luggage. You have 30 minutes to get ready, and we are heading to the airport. And we would go somewhere to a beautiful place that I've never been to. But in my family, I can hardly imagine that happening because usually it's me who plans all our trips and getaways. My husband is not really into traveling, but I hope it will change one day. Or he will just do it for me. Maybe he will listen to this podcast and surprise me. Speaking about experience gifts, on New Year's Eve, I gave my mom a gift, 2 tickets to a concert of one of our favorite singers. And that's why in May I'll go to Minsk again and we will visit the concert together. I'm really looking forward to this event and I believe it will be unforgettable. I've also given my mom some really cool experience gifts before. They not only gave her wonderful emotions, but also slightly improved her life. For example, once I bought her a few consultations with a nutritionist. My mom is a very slim woman. Most probably you've seen her pictures on my Telegram or Instagram, but all her life, she struggled with an eating disorder. She was afraid of eating bread, potatoes, and rice. Sometimes she would overeat and then go on a buckwheat diet for 2 weeks. Or she used to buy some expensive pills to reduce her appetite and so on and so forth. When I got to know one nutritionist here in Gdansk in person, I immediately thought of my mom. So they analyzed what my mom ate, her diet. The nutritionist explained the health benefits of different products, including potatoes, rice, beans, and so on, and introduced her to the Harvard plate method and how to eat according to it. After a month of guided coaching, my mom finally learned how to eat properly. Now she has much more energy. She has stopped thinking about food all the time. She no longer blames or punishes herself for eating an extra candy, for example. And she has finally started enjoying both cooking and eating. One more example of an experience gift for my mom is the Marathon of Wishes. I believe many of you have heard of it. It was created by a popular Russian blogger. I know many people criticize it for being useless, too simple, too obvious, and not containing valuable information. But my mom did a complete 180 after finishing this marathon. All her life, my mom thought about others, her parents, her husband, her children, her employees, and so on. She was never taught to ask herself, what do I want? What do I dream of having? What kind of life would I like to live? But with the help of this marathon, she was able to refocus on herself. During the marathon, she identified her true wishes, wrote them down, of course, worked on them, and surprise, surprise, after some time, they came true. Now my mom keeps making wishes, and every time one of her wishes comes true and she calls me to share it, I feel over the moon and secretly a little smug that I gave her such a magical gift.
What's the hardest person to buy a gift for in your life? Why?
Oh, I know the answer to this one. It's easy. It's my dad. As you've probably guessed, I'm rather close to my mom, and I almost always know what she needs. Plus, since she's a woman, I can easily come up with some simple gifts like jewelry, cosmetics, flowers, bags, and so on. But with my dad, it's much more complicated. First, he's a man, and in my opinion, choosing gifts for men is always a harder task. Their gifts are either too expensive or too practical. They have to truly need them to use them. In a few days, it's my dad's birthday, and I still haven't decided what to buy him. He doesn't need, for example, massage sessions. He has his own massage therapist that he goes to all the time. He doesn't go to the pool, the gym, or the ice skating rink because if he did, maybe I could buy him a sports related gift or a membership. He likes to grill meat and cook different dishes for the family over the fire, but he always chooses the dishes and pots he needs himself. He enjoys going to theaters or concerts, but he has a very specific taste, so it's difficult for me to choose something that will truly impress him. Some time ago, he bought a record player, and every time I come from Poland, I bring him a new vinyl record. But that works for occasional gifts and doesn't feel special enough for a birthday. Last year, I created an album for my dad with family photos from the past few years. My dad isn't a fan of being photographed. He usually gets nervous and annoyed. But when he got that album, he finally understood why we take all those photos with our phones. He really enjoyed looking through the pages, seeing vivid pictures, and reliving the memories from those days and events. After this gift, he has become more willing to take part in family pictures, and I don't have to convince him anymore. I think he's secretly hoping for another album like this for his next holiday.
Hello, Nika. I want to ask you, what was the most valuable and memorable gift that you received in childhood?
It was so nice of you guys to send me a few questions about my childhood. I really had to think about it carefully and go back with my thoughts to that wonderful and carefree time. So, the first thing that came to my mind is a backpack in the shape of, to be honest, I had to Google what they are called in English. So, in the shape of one of the Teletubbies. You remember there were like Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Paw. Oh my god, we used to be crazy about this cartoon in kindergarten. I was running to the TV to watch a new episode. So, when I was only 4 or 5 years old, my uncle traveled to the USA with a work and travel program, and he brought me a backpack with Lala, a yellow one. You cannot imagine. I was not only over the moon, I was feeling like I was the coolest girl ever. First, because I had this backpack, and second, because it was from the USA, the country that was over the ocean and seemed like an unattainable dream. The second gift that came to my mind from the childhood was a little fairy cosmetic set. I believe girls will understand me, and now we will unlock some childhood memories. I remember that Little Fairy was advertised on TV all the time, and I really dreamed of having one too. But I was a very shy and timid child. I never asked my parents to buy me anything, even if I really wanted it. I know that some kids are extremely demanding. They beg for something, they cry if they don't get it. But As a child, I saw how much my parents worked to make money, and I always felt sorry for them. That's why I kept quiet and didn't ask for anything, except the horse. But you already know the story. Before New Year, I had a tradition of sitting down together with my mom and writing a letter to Santa Claus with my wishes. And one of my wishes was a little fairy cosmetic set. And when I got it, I couldn't believe my eyes. And I couldn't thank Santa enough for making my dream come true. And the third gift that also pops into my mind when I think about childhood is a Ken doll. I used to adore playing with Barbies. I think I was playing until the age of 11 or even maybe 12. That's why now when I look at some teens trying to look and act like adults, I always think, oh my God, at your age, I was still playing with Barbies. Yeah, I know I sound like an old and annoying grandma, but what can I do? I'm turning 30 soon. So I had a lot of Barbies, but I didn't have Ken. I believe it was a pretty common problem that many girls faced. We didn't have Ken, and of course, I was dreaming about him. And again, for New Year's Eve, I got Ken and Shelly. Shelly was a little daughter of Ken and Barbie, and she was incredibly cute. So from that moment on, I started playing with one Ken and a lot of Barbies who were always fighting to win his heart. I guess I was preparing for adult life and the real world. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with me today. I haven't answered all the questions I received from you, so there will definitely be a second part of this audio. Please send me a message about how you liked this new format. I'm always interested in your feedback, and I absolutely adore getting your messages. They make me smile and lift my mood even on the darkest days. And last but not least, if you want to boost your English this spring and take it to the next level, I invite you guys to join our courses starting on the 27th of April. In just 3 months, you will become much more confident in your English skills and you will be able to use the language anywhere you need it, while traveling, at work, at conferences, for self development, and so on. We have the most interesting topics for discussion, a super convenient platform for homework, a flexible schedule, and a highly motivated and ambitious community. Believe me, thanks to our courses, English will become your hobby and you will truly enjoy learning it. All the info is on the website. The link is in the description of this podcast. Or feel free to send me a message on Telegram or Instagram, and I will tell you everything. Have a great day, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.